Hello and welcome to this afternoon taste challenge. We have from 1936, ancient age, 10-star, 90 proof, 3-year age Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It is a sour mash Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey from Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. Going up against Jim Beam Repeal Batch non-chill filtered Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey from Claremont and Frankfort, Kentucky. No age statement introduced in 2018, 3 long years ago, to celebrate the 85th anniversary of the end of United States national prohibition. I bought this bottle for $12.85 at Walmart. It's more expensive in other stores. I paid $15 for this at Bonita Plaza Liquors in Meridian, Mississippi. So I'm going to have to go by what I paid. Now, what you pay will vary a little bit, but I don't think it's going to differentiate too much. Tyler Mansell says, cheers to you in Seattle. Tyler CHP says, cheers back to you. Bullman's Beer Reviews, cheers back to you. Got people from England, Washington State on the Pacific Coast. Daniel Wells says, I tried like over 6 of the Jim Beam flavors. Yeah, I've tried a good amount now too, but I have the Jim Beam 8-year age. It's no longer made. Coming up is replaced by Jim Beam Black. All right, well, I'm thirsty. Let's go. Other bourbon, which is the other bourbon there, and ancient age. Now, is ancient age going to be $2.15 better? I mean, I doubt it. D. Watson says, I really enjoyed the repeal batch from Eastern Washington, Spokane. Cheers. I've been there. I went to the Greyhound station there, a beautiful Greyhound bus station there. Spokane, Washington in 1999. Plastic cap, metal cap. This is for Wednesday, all right? Because Wednesday we got the wine thing going on at 7:20, 7:30 Eastern, and I'm not going to really practically be able to do this. It wouldn't work out too well doing straight bourbon and then running up behind it with wine. No. Our theme for Wednesday is any cheap wine. Examine any cheap wine, meaning $10 or less per bottle. $10 or less per bottle. I've got mine ready to go. I did pay 50 cents too much at least, but that was my mistake. I don't know what I was thinking. You get major points for pronouncing Spokane correctly. Thank you. Did you try the whiskey soda mix cans? No. But I do hear a frog croaking right now. Got the windows open. All right. I put the links below for ancient age, 10-star, and for the Jim Beam Repeal Batch. Well, the appearance is similar in the sense that they have nice uniform alcohol legs, drips. But the Jim Beam, the ancient age is a bit darker, and it's higher proof. It's 90 proof as opposed to 86 proof. Ethan Leggett from Georgia. Happy Monday. May the best bourbon whiskey win. Right. Now, tomorrow morning, we got the Tuesday examination, the Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. If you're curious what's going to happen at Dawn Busters, let me know. I'll let you know what's coming up against ancient age. We've only got 3 bourbons left to go up against ancient age. I don't have just 3 bourbons. I got a lot coming. I got larceny coming to me. My friend David called me while I was at the baseball game. over a week ago and said, I got this larceny, and I did research on it. It was pretty amazing. After we do straight bourbon, we're going to pivot over to American blended whiskey, which generally, but it's not a law. It's not a law, but it's what most people do. It's generally uses about 20 to 25% straight bourbon. Although I do have some American blended whiskeys that use up to 27.5% straight bourbon. All right, but that's another story. The Bankers Club blended. After we do the American blended, we're going to do Canadian blended, and I know it's going to be very exciting. I know you'll agree. It's going to be Canadian whiskey, and it's Crown Royal Black, 90 proof Crown Royal Black. I think it was on the market since it's been on the market since about 1990, so about 31 years, but I'm not quite sure about that because they don't really give good information on their website about that. But suffice it to say that Crown Royal Black has been around a little bit. All right, aroma. Very rich, vanilla, a lot of wood, charred oak. Now, I don't understand, although I don't oppose it. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't understand the beer drinkers saying, oh, no, I don't want to mess with whiskey. Because in my thinking, all right, but this can only apply to me. I taste beers. People say, we know you post 1 or 2 videos a day. We get it. Right. Okay. So I'm tasting, this wheat beer. Oh, I tasted this flavored ale. I tasted this India Pale Ale, whatever. Ice beer, so on. Grand Cru. And I talk about the flavors and all of that. It's pretty interesting adventure. And then, but to me, the whiskey, the gin, not so much gin. That's kind of treacherous for me. But the whiskey, the rum, the brandy, and now the tequila, and all those are like little tasting adventures also. So I don't understand why the beer drinkers wouldn't want to transition, because these are just like that. That's what this is making me think of. Like, it's got these rich, interesting flavors, and they're not always that good, but sometimes usually they are pretty good. And so then you can talk about the flavors. And then wine too, although I don't find wine, but I don't know a lot about it. I don't find it's that differentiated. Crown Royal Black, huh? Not sure I've seen that. Yeah, it's pretty common. It's a black label. It's 90 proof. What regular Crown Royal is 80. Crown Royal Black is terrific. Ronald Mann whiskey. Y'all will dig it, says Chad Humphrey. I have a feeling I will. Daniel Wells says, Aldi started selling alcohol and different types of wine for cheap. Yeah, Trader Joe's here in my state sells liquor. Oh, yeah. All right. Enough. Very rich. Over here. Yeah, some fermented grain, yeast and all of that, but not so much char bar, right? Caught myself. Barrel char. Yeah, strong wood barrel char. Not. This is more pastry, like you say, don't say cream cheese Danish. No, I won't say cream cheese Danish, even though I was kind of thinking about that. No, I won't mention that because that would be too far away from any sort of acceptable description of a whiskey, bourbon whiskey. But it smells like, did think of it though. It smells like just a charred fermented grain and like I said, I won't mention pastry because we don't the cream cheese type with the strawberry. But I wouldn't dare talk about that. When I drink wine, which is not often, as far as I know, there is no liquor. Oh, Aldi has all kind of affordable wines. It's pretty good, actually. Okay. I'd like to get into those if they ever open one here. As far as I know, there's no liquor sold at any of my Aldi stores. Maybe they do in other states. Yeah, because Georgia's strict about you have to only sell liquor at a liquor store. Whereas in Louisiana, anybody can be a liquor store. You just get the license. Convenience store, grocery store, discount store, department store, they all sell liquor. All right, taste time. A lot of wood. A lot of charred oak, and there's a sort of sourdough bagel thing going on here, which makes me think that it's probably a Sazerac, meaning a Buffalo Trace in this case, because there's also Glenmore. Sazerac also owns the Louisville bottling plant, Lewiston, Maine, Montreal, Canada, Bardstown, Kentucky. But they have that sort of house style of the sourdough bread, sourdough bagel thing. If you get Buffalo Trace bourbon, which has been on the market 22 years, most people sell that, or Blanton's, which is the real expensive version of it, so to speak, run you about $60. And you'll notice a commonality. And Ancient Age, which is the cut rate $9.99 straight bourbon. And, well, Kentucky Tavern, too. Yeah, and even Kentucky Gentleman, which is just a blended bourbon, but it's still listed on the Buffalo Trace website. But you'll notice a common thread with all of those. McAfee's Benchmark, forgot about that one. Barton, very old Barton 80 proof. Okay, yeah, that one. And but the price difference is big. You know, you could pay $7.99 for a liter of Kentucky Gentleman from Buffalo Trace, $8.99 for Kentucky Tavern from Buffalo Trace. We're talking about liter bottles. Or $60 for Blanton's, $7.50 if you're on a waiting list. And they're very similar one to the other, I think. I'm cool with just having liquor stores selling liquor in my area. There are probably 5 liquor stores within a 7-mile radius, more to drink than I could ever want or need. Well, yeah, I mean, if Louisiana had that strict rule, then there would be liquor stores everywhere. In our case, there's just stores everywhere selling liquor. You won't regret trying Old Tub, Ron. I know, but I can't get to it right now. I'm too backlogged. Like you, I often say, Ron, you literally could never run out of stuff to try. No. Rebel Yell, Chad Humphrey says. Now it's called Rebel. I can get that easily, but it's just a matter of being able to get it. I just can't. I mean, being able to get through it. I'm so backstocked on bourbon right now. I got the Larceny coming from David. Thank you again for that gift. I've got Jesse James bourbon. I've got not Rebel, yeah, what am I saying? Henry McKenna, Old Charter. It's way more than that. That's just 3 that I can think of. So the whiskey gets the barrel taste and it gets sourdough-like taste. Interesting. Yeah, it does get that from that sour mash process, which was basically started by Old Crow. James Crow started a bourbon in 1835 called Dr. James Crow's Bourbon Whiskey, which they later changed to Old Crow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Beer and bourbon or beer and rye. Oh, I don't mix beer and whiskey. I try to drink them separately. I like rye. No, don't get me wrong. All right. I actually prefer rye. Well, this one does have a lot of charred oak as well. Oh, the body. I think the body's the same on these. They're both kind of watery. So if you're worried about them being heavy bodied and hard to deal with, I don't know. No. They're really clean products. All right, let's go to the next step. I have to remember the signpost. The signposts are that Jim Beam whiskies, bourbon whiskeys tend to, there's also a blended called Beam's 8-Star, tend to be, that would be an interesting one for some of y'all to try, that Beam's 8-Star, because you're never going to see a television commercial for it. They tend to be sort of a cellar mold in green wood. Now, this is hard to talk about or to describe, but it's like an old moldy cellar. My grandfather had a bomb shelter he built, and it had this like black mold smell. And wood that's not quite dry, it's still green. Jim Beam kind of has that. So I have to look for that. Sazerac, they'll just be kind of high rye, like a lot of rye bread spiciness, and that sourdough bagel thing. You still got that blue label bottle. I will return it for some blended challenges. I do have the Johnny Walker blue label. I still have about 75% of it. 70%. I guess that what happens when any kind of whiskey is left in the barrel for years. Well, now that depends. If it's a first used barrel, if they've never used the barrel before and it's freshly charred, yeah, you'll get a lot of heavy charcoal flavor. But now if it's a reuse, because they do this a lot in whiskey, they'll use the barrel again and again and again and again, like a tea bag. You keep using it. And I mean, people do that. I don't, but of course you'll get less intense flavor, and then pretty soon you don't get hardly any. So from the barrel. So like Canadian Mist, which is very similar to bourbon, I might add, very similar. If it was made in the United States, it would almost be a bourbon. But Canadian Mist is aged in used barrels, and it's very bland, very, very bland. It's like a washed out tea bag. But then that's by design. They intentionally made it that way. They made it to be very, very bland and low profile flavor. You can look at the ads from 1968. They'll say it. So you can't really give a bad score to a product that's bland, but was designed to be bland. You know, they say, oh, if you're looking for rich flavor, swirling it around in a glass, and all these things, Canadian Mist is obviously not for you. But if you're looking for a very mixable whiskey that's inexpensive, Canadian Mist is for you. Now, so that's their approach. Now, Ancient Age is sort of like, well, it's a different approach. It's a relatively intense flavor, a lot of charcoal, a lot of sourdough bagel, a lot of rich flavors, really, but it's only $15. And I think the Jim Beam Repeal Batch is similar in that sense. Hey, Ron, your grandfather had a bomb shelter? Yeah, he built it in 1962. Well, he built it. He had it built by a company because they thought there was going to be an atomic war, atomic bombs, and that didn't happen. So I remember, though, when they still had beds down in there, beds. And my aunt was down there playing on the beds, and we'll hide down here, you know. But then nothing happened. So then the beds were gone, and they just stored potatoes down there because it was always cool. It was never really hot down in that basement. So they they stored potatoes. Now I don't know what's down in there. Mud. Who knows what's down in there? I haven't been in that thing in 30 years. I follow you. My grandma's basement flooded once, and it had that smell. Yeah, I know the basement smell. Says Scruffy. Says FD says rye whiskey was the preferred liquor pre-prohibition. It built a man's character before going to war. Yeah, rye whiskey was very popular at one time. 1962, was his shelter related to the Cuban Missile Crisis by chance? Yeah, it was directly related to it. It's the reason he got it. But it was up on a hill, like Baton Rouge. When you start getting toward Baton Rouge, Louisiana, it starts getting hilly, kind of hilly. And if you follow those hills to the northeast, they go through Mississippi, hilly, hillier, Alabama, hillier, more hills. And then when you get to Tuscaloosa, that's where there's a sign saying, now you're at the Appalachian Mountains. So really, the foothills, so to speak, of the Appalachian Mountains start at the Mississippi River, or right close to the Mississippi River in Louisiana. And then you could just follow those hills. Just get a topographical map. You'll see what I mean. It's a solid line. They go all the way to Canada. But it's flat here where I live. It's flat, no hills. My dad said he remembered drills in school during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Oh yeah, my mother did the same thing. They call the foothills the Piedmont in Georgia. Yeah, because you're south of that. See. Well, around here, if you go 38 miles northwest of here, it wouldn't be the Piedmont. It'd be more like the little bit Mont, the little bit Mont. But his house was right there on the little bit Mont. And there's a road, there's a highway, actually, a state highway that runs along. It's called Highland Road. One side's high, one side's low. There's the Mississippi River. It's a bluff. A bluff. If you go south of that, the road continues as Bluff Road, and then it just suddenly peters out. So it's a very interesting topographical thing to look at, because you could start there, just start walking, and pretty soon you'd be to Mount Mitchell. Mount Mitchell in North Carolina, but pretty soon meaning like after a month of walking. All right, enough of that. Let's go to the determination. Well, I'm having a hard time, obviously. It's tough. It's a tough challenge, as I figured. I'm a little worried about tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning would be like the greatest bourbon deal in the history of the world. When that guy told me a liter, yeah, I said that right, of straight Kentucky bourbon whiskey, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, aged 4 years. He said, "Oh, it's $5.99, boss." He told me that. "It's $5.99, boss." And I went back and I said, "Oh, I already bought that." I thought he was talking about the blended. I looked, I said, "Straight bourbon." I said, "Woo." I said, "I'll buy it." $5.99 a liter. Straight bourbon from Kentucky. True story. The Battle of New Orleans won the War of 1812. Right. Andrew Jackson saved New Orleans. People forget that. Well, I haven't forgotten that. I know exactly where that battlefield is. It's on the Mississippi River, 4 miles south of New Orleans city limits. Right along Louisiana Highway 39, I think it is. It's a national battlefield. It's a national park. Oh yeah, it's famous. Like And there's a graveyard. There's a cemetery, National United Battle of New Orleans National Cemetery. They have graves from 1812. Well, 1815. But did you ever get into Van Halen? Says Craig Swenson. I've always respected the talent, but it's not really my thing. Well, I have Van Halen's 1978, 1979, 1980, 1981, 1982, and 1984. Well, yeah, 84 albums. So I guess you could say I was into them. Those are the great albums. After they changed in 85 and became Journey, I wasn't really into the Journey Van Halen, but I did go see them with Sammy Hagar in 1986 at the Centroplex in Baton Rouge. We got fourth row seats, true story. Fourth row from the stage, true story. For the regular price. Hey, sometimes it works out. Got the ticket to prove it too. I always save my ticket stubs because I know people are going to say, you're lying, you're lying. I'm going to say, I got the ticket stub. I'm lying. I got witnesses. I was with my cousin and my good friend. Maxwell, hey, Ron. Maxwell, you need to go to sleep. It's late at night in Russia. This is awesome. Drinking with y'all, says Chad Humphrey. Laissez les bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. Off top. Oh, I'm a geography nerd, so anything to do with that kind of stuff interests me. That was part of the reason I got into your channel, aside from the main topic of beer. Yeah, I love geography. Do you ever listen for the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, Ron? Oh, from Harry Chapin? Well, of course, I'm very familiar with that. Hey, Maxwell, says Ethan, 2:30 in Russia. 2:30? You shouldn't be watching whiskey taste challenges at 2:30 a.m. You should be sleeping, says the guy who wakes up at 1:45 sometimes. All right, enough's enough. Let's call it. How's the weather out there? Well, it's rainy. It's raining. Not heavy, but it's steady, which is worrisome because I just sprayed the eliminator everywhere, the weed killer. Well, three hours ago, and I'm supposed to cut the grass tomorrow. Well, if this rain, I cannot believe this. I had my whole day planned out. I'm going to review this, then I'm going to review that, then I'm going to do that, then I'm going to cut the grass at exactly 10:15 a.m. Well, I think these are very similar. Did they taste the same? No. Nope. But are they vastly different? I wouldn't say so. So in that respect, I think the winner is the Jim Beam Repeal Batch because you're saving $2.15. I mean, even if it was a penny, still the winner is cheaper. The flavor is very good for both. 86 proof versus 90 proof, not a big difference. Which one would I buy in the future? I guess I would buy both. Maybe I would buy the Ancient Age because it's 90 proof, but I'm not really sure about that. It's too many factors, 4-year age, 3-year age, 86 proof, 90 proof, non-chill filtered, chill filtered, not sour mash, so it's too many variables. Nice. I know Colorado had a blizzard. Yeah. Snow in Chicago. Hey, Ron, says Elijah's call. Oh, Elijah. Well, still, I think this is the Ancient Age. I'm not particularly confident in that, but I'm going to call it. Oh, no, it's the Jim Beam Repeal Batch. Yeah. Well, just said there are $2.15 difference. The age is a 1-year age difference. The proof is 86 to 90. Since they're under $20 a bottle, they're both, I guess you could call them bargain products. But still, they're both good. I had a bad feeling about this. I was thinking about it leading up to this. I was at here. I was thinking, oh, I think I'm going to get it wrong. I just think I'm going to get it wrong. I'm not going to be able to tell them apart. Well, as it turns out, I was right. Now, if anybody wants to see what's coming up, let me know. But otherwise, we'll shut it off. But if you do want to see, let me know now or forever. Hold your sausage. But anyway, Jim Beam wins. It was cheaper, only by $2. Gary says, bam. It was cheaper by $2.15, and can't say it was necessarily better, but it wasn't any worse. Sure wasn't worse. And then this is a really another winner. A winner. Oh, show the stuff. Okay, let's see. Show the stuff. All right, you asked for it. You got it. I was trying to get off the air, but I got that shirt. I didn't pay for that shirt. All right, anyway. Oh, man. Encore, a win. Oliver, well, it wasn't a win. I got it wrong. All right. Wednesday night Jim Beam did win, yes. In a technical sense, at least. Not in a real sense. But Wednesday night, first tomorrow morning at dawn. People ask me ridiculous questions like, why are you reviewing that whiskey in the dark? I'm like, because it's Dawn Busters. John Carpenter's The Thing. I'm aware of it. I watched part of it, but I didn't really like it. Gary says maskless reviews only at Ron's. Right, I don't do the mask thing. Hey, don't blame me. I'm not a socialist. You can't taste wearing clothes. Right. Well, let me get back to planet Earth now. People can ask right, Ethan. Here we go. Tomorrow morning, ancient age, 10-star. Love that beautiful burnished gold label. Versus Bellows. Now, before you start laughing like a little jerk who's content to be a jerk, this is a company that was founded in 1830. What were you doing in 1830? William Bellows and Company, wine procurers. Well, yeah, they got bought out. Okay, don't blame me, blame them. I know you're a purist. You say they could offer me $10 million. I would never sell out. Never. Even for $10 million. I'd stay poor to keep my family in the business. Okay, yeah, right, sure. But anyway, this is Bellows Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It's aged 4 years, and I paid $5.99 a liter. Yeah, you heard me right. A liter at Savannah Discount. Hey, well, get ready for tomorrow morning. And then on Thursday, we have George Dickel Cascade Hollow. Then Friday, we have George Dickel 12. And then that'll be it for bourbon. Now, Japan. What am I looking at? JS says I'm floating. Ethan says, I have to admit, though, Ron, I enjoy the extra daylight at night now. No, I hate it. Japan corn. Daniel says sake. Japan-owned Jack 2. No. Nope, 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 nope. Jack Daniels is owned by Brown-Forman, American. Darn, the biggest liquor stores don't have half of what you have. I can't deal with this, says Gary. I'm sorry, Gary. How about Francis Connor versus Paulaner Hefeweizen? Elijah Scott. That's actually a good idea. Well, let me think about that, because I have one can left of Paulaner Hefeweizen, 500 milliliters. And I could get Francis Connor. I don't know though. I don't know if I want to drink that much wheat beer. I don't even like wheat beer. Daniel Wells says rice wine. Yeah, right. The sake. All right, here we go for Wednesday. Any red wine? I know you're jealous. I know you're getting jealous because you don't have Mogen David blackberry wine. Yeah, 10% alcohol. It's a red wine with natural flavor, and you always want to have natural flavors. And it's certified kosher for Passover. This is not your everyday run-of-the-mill certified kosher wine. Oh, no. Oh, heck to the no. This is certified kosher for Passover. Now, and what do I know for Passover? Well, I read the Bible every day. I read a chapter a day. I've been reading the book of Exodus. I've been reading the book of Numbers. So don't get too jealous. All right, I did pay I'm the one who should be jealous because I did pay 50 cents too much for this. But I've got it, and I'm ready to roll Wednesday night at 7:20 Eastern Time, Eastern Daylight Time. I got Mogen David blackberry wine. Only the best on this channel. People say, oh, Lord. All right. Then beer. I got beer here. I got beer there. I got beer everywhere. Someone asked me, he said, would you review the Blue Moon Mango? I said, I will, since you asked. Now I got the Blue Moon Mango Wheat Ale bottle. I got the Blue Moon Mango Wheat Ale canned. We do it all on this channel. Bottled, canned, draft. Can't find 10% wine. That's low, all things considered. Yeah, it is low, actually. I was sipping Mogen David Concord earlier. I can't ever pass over a glass of wine. Well, yes, but don't despair, folks. It's 10%, but I'll just let you know that I bought Gibson's Vineyards Sherry, 18%. Ha, ha, ha. I bought Gibson Vineyards Cream Sherry, 18%. Ha, ha, ha. And I bought Gibson Vineyards Port, 18%. Ha, ha, ha. Don't get too jealous. People are saying, we're not jealous. No one wants to drink cheap cream sherry. I was like, I just was playing a game. I thought Japan owned Jack. No, it's a family-owned company called Brown-Forman. Do you have a video of Old Forester? We did Old Forester. Look at this rain. We did Old Forester 1920. I'm not sure about the others. Joe Farrell says, hi, tuning in. Washington Boulevard, Plaid, Habit, Canadian Whiskey, Barrel Aged. Cheers, mate. Well, I don't have that, but I can tell you about a great deal I got at Walmart. I got oh yeah, 40 Creek Barrel Select Canadian whiskey. It's a $20 bottle of wine. Scary. A $20 bottle of whiskey, and I got it at Walmart for $9. True story. I got it at Walmart for $9. True story. It's a full-size bottle. I bought the Clan McGregor blended scotch for $5. I will give you a nickel for a shot of George Dickel. Yeah, a nickel for Dickel. tuning in, Washington. Oh, cheers, Ron says BC's. Joe Farrell says kiss. All right, that's it. Hey, BC, everybody's telling each other hello. Well, thanks, everybody. It's been a great hangout. Ancient Age did a good job, but it didn't quite beat the Jim Beam, at least in my case, because I couldn't tell them apart. So props to Jim Beam, and get ready for tomorrow morning, because we got Bellows. We got Bellows, $5.99 a liter. Oh, no, it can't be true. Not for straight bourbon whiskey. It can't be true. Oh, yes, it is.